So, jetzt gehen wir wieder runter. Der Fischhütte. Bin schon zu weit. Wo fange ich an? Ich glaube hier unten. Ist die Falle eigentlich? Müsste ja auch irgendwo sein. Da komme ich nicht so lang. Geht man mal mit den Dudes dort.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you? So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker? Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation. At last.
We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't go.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. We've met before. Don't you remember?
Leider nicht.
No, you sure don't.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be? Mm-hmm. Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting.
Okay.
You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this, we get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach, you revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset! The end of all things!" After which, your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice. We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit. Like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though, and the carriage had sunk too deep.
In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common.
Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on. I'm not sure. I think you were the event. Tequila sunset. You know, as opposed to a tequila sunrise, which is long gone. Yeah, I agree. Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women.
Oh.
How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Abigail!
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy.
Na gut, den Revolver habe ich ja nicht wirklich verloren.
In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one. You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
Ei.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
Yeah, you said that you'd really behaved unreasonably and failed to uphold your responsibilities as a representative of the coalition. You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you.
Okay, das spiegelt sich aber, glaube ich, ab, wie ich mich dann verhalten habe, oder?
You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid." It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
Keine Ahnung.
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package. Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me.
Ich habe tatsächlich was anscheinend.
Classy.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail!
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high-concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high-concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly. Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. I rang my neighbors' buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be... Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
Das ist schon sehr speziell.
Me neither, Tequila. When I lost my keys, I lost more than access to my apartment. I also lost my leverage over humanity. I wasn't a high-concept creative director anymore. I was just some homeless asshole with a premium Sansorique Lycra tracksuit. You can't imagine what that does to a man's confidence. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece Lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
A lost jacket? Sounds like a mystery you could look into.
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my Lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it. My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language.
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
Asking is how you get ahead. What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on, feel that primo material. Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
Oh Mann.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers, so you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell, but you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time. My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're...
Hey!
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary.
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
Jetzt schon wieder. Oder ist diesmal was fertig geworden? Ich glaube, es ist was fertig geworden.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together. I'm all ears, Tequila. What's in a name?
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. I was once a reasonably high net. I developed the paradigm. It did, but now one day I.
His eye.
So I was halfway done with my youth. Wet. I made naturally the situation reality. So I made my way. People are just. But when anyway. So now you've heard my tragic tale. Me neither. You can't imagine what that does to. I do, but as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift. Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned. You too, Tequila Sunset.
Kann ich mit den anderen auch reden, oder?
The bow collector. It's early in the morning. The world is dark blue. The sparks light her face, a delicate composition of triangles. The streets seem to grow longer, like in a dolly zoom. And there's something in the air as you stand there and wave back at the shapes growing smaller and smaller. Something that has always been there. A great see-through world. The tenderness you feel. The ghost of Revachol between you, carrying your signals. The holy messenger.
Keine Ahnung. Wie viel XP? 60 noch. Okay.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy? So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Ist es Moral? Okay. Also es würde zumindest, wenn der mal Alkohol trinkt, würde er ja XP geben. aber nicht sicher, ob das eine gute Idee ist.
In the civilized...
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you...
You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk.
Don't call Abigail!
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible. He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail. Don't you fucking call her! Hear me? Abigail?
There's no use in yelling at drunks. He's barely holding it together.
The drunk man starts coughing a really disgusting, hacking cough.
Don't call.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
Hey kids.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids.
Ja.
Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
Okay. Gehen wir mal hier rein. Oh. Noch ein Kind.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Okay,
My mum's outside, and I don't really know about my dad. Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical. It's a grouse.
wasn't Gar, the cafeteria manager, trying to repair a piece of taxidermy?
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. It's Lammy! He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Lammy usually doesn't like strangers. But you're also fuzzy, like Lammy. Bye!
Okay, die war gesprächiger.
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Was ist das?
Then how does she know you're here?
Ach so.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen. No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound. Maybe they are afraid. Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone. So, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Stay. Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
Wow.
No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there. Oh, don't. It's your choice. No skin off my teeth. My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm. Aye, the room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here. You best not be plotting another revolution under my roof. We barely got through the last one. But the room, do you want it?
Warum nicht?
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of names.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in abundance.
It's a cold, cynical smile.
Riddles. Fits with the general ambiance here.
Aye. Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost inside this nameless nothing. Oh, it seems to be a common theme these days. Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Something I can do for you to find your way, officer? Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. But they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Oh, I'm sure you did. Nature keeps them in rotation. A new face pops up every now and then, and an old one disappears and is forgotten. Here, for you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find. She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, they've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed. No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or some... What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. And now you know everything there is to know about this code. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr... Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double. What do you want with a lost jacket?
That's an excellent question, ma'am.
He probably pawned it for booze and then forgot about it. You know how drunk men are? Are you getting a reward for it at least? What? You're fetching someone's missing laundry free of charge? Do you not have anything better to do?
Doch.
In fact, he does.
None of my business, either way. How you spend your hours is up to you. Anyhow, you might ask Lillian if she's seen anything lately.
Okay. Was ist hier?
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangements. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet...
The key turns with a satisfying click.
Gucken wir uns mal die Bude an. Hat das nicht auch schon Logik? Nee. Wie sieht das aus? Oder was? Nö.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with a brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears.
What is this place to you?
Waves crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, a congregation gathers to a soup kitchen in a shelter for the... This could have been you. This could still be you. A down on his luck nobody, trying to survive. Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think...
Look under the floorboards.
Aber
The
eigentlich...
bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
Das ist ein besserer Zustand, als wie er sein Zimmer da umrenoviert hat. Was? Warum nicht? Da ist kein Minus. Neue Stiefel. Was ist eigentlich, wenn hier Wahrnehmung so hoch ist? Ja.
Hi,
Was geht
officer.
ab?
Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Remarkable. That one already lost everything else and now his jacket too. It's a good thing too that he has an actual police officer looking for it. Good old doom spiral, upper management to the core.
That's odd. Is she actually impressed?
How sweet of you. It really is. I check around the abandoned fish market on the boardwalk. Drunks are inexplicably drawn to markets. Might be why they have such trouble staying in business.
A phenomenon that the spectral hand theory of the market fails to account for.
If one of them lost something, that's as good a place to start looking as any. Let's see. Who are you looking for? Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Here?
Well, you're barking under the wrong tree then, officer. I have no interest in floaters. Seen enough of them in my life already. Very unattractive bunch. Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
But not when you're in a tight spot.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that. Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check. You would put me in an early grave. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Okay. Hier war ich schon. Wo ist die Falle? Muss ja irgendwo in der Nähe sein, oder? Oder war das sogar... Wo ist es? Ist nix. Ah doch. Ist tatsächlich was.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet.
Warte. Was mal, was ist das?
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. You see slabs of concrete north. In the east, the city center hums. The constant, distant song. Louder on this part of the coast. Nearer somehow. Locusts are crawling around in the trap. Confused, but uneaten.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. I meant no offense, just...
Geld. Okay, hier geht's ja dann wieder zurück. Okay, okay. Oh, ist hier noch? Kann ich da hin? Hier ist noch eine.
This is the trap Morel just set. Checking it over, he said, is just a technicality. But the reeds by the abandoned campsite sway and tremble while the snow falls all around. It's good the cryptozoologists left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay night after night. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
Another empty trap.
Neither does the lieutenant. He just raises his collar. It's
Ist die nächste?
This trap's not too hard to spot, once you know what to look for. Keeping it hidden has not been behind you. The ruins of a residential building loom over the reeds. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted. Nothing but locusts in this trap as well. Definitely no cryptozoological monstrosity.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done.
The lieutenant stretches his back.
Na. Kann ich... Okay, hier geht's nicht weiter. Ich glaube, hier ist wieder irgendwas mit Besprühen.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim, meaning this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains. The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. The commandant, the one who gives the order, machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe...
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was the commandant, the superior giving the orders.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Diese Geschichte ist auch hin und wieder da. Uff. Das macht 2 Logik. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, was eigentlich ziemlich hohe Werte sind. Ich glaube 9 ist schon ziemlich gut. Ich hoffe nicht zu hoch. Weit nordöstlich. Sonst hier nichts. Hier geht's nirgendwo, ne? Nordöstlich. Sehr viel zum Sammeln. Oh, hier ist ja noch jemand. Ich kann doch rein.
Has been planted into the barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here.
Ja. Ich sammle erstmal. Und ich habe eigentlich die letzte Falle gesucht. Gut. Weiß ich nicht. Wahrscheinlich kommen wir dann noch weiter nördlich.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand.
Oh, hello there.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
So should you. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat. I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else. My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me. A cell.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features, some masculinity below that timidness.
Okay, it's Burger.
A very common name.
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still. Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone. A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike. No idea.
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble. Yeah, I record stuff with it. Sure. Same place I got the recorder from, the Elysium. Oh man, you haven't been to the Elysium? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck. Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck, or really be a Elysium going kind of person. Yes? Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound. My boyfriend sold them. I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
The musicians in the Elysium used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use...
The sharp drop in endorphins is almost visible, like a warm blanket has fallen.
Take this, you're cold.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that.
It's okay.
Thanks. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Elysium or something.
And who are these boys?
Yeah, Andre and the guys, they're inside.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it. That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I'll go ahead. It's supposed to become, like, a club for Nordic dance music, except that, yeah,
The floorboards are twisting, and the shooting beams are slowly cracking. There will never be a club, not in a million years.
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments. Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers too.
This is an evolutionary step up from amplified instruments, which in turn are a step up from acoustic instruments.
I know. It's not my idea. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right? Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right? They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else? Go ahead. Okay, bye.
So, jetzt muss ich eine neue Mütze aufsetzen wieder. Also die andere wieder. Hier, der Strohhut. Wo hab ich das denn her?
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open.
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out. Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this. I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Hey, was geht
You
hier ab?
see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
There is definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic, yes, should the future ever come. It will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy. His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers. We have many in the pipeline, officer.
That means they haven't set up a single one
Nicht ein
yet.
einziges.
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues. Ah, so you've met her? Good, good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of... I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dope heads and burnouts if left...
Dope heads. Burnouts.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that. The world.
And sadder yet, because the dope heads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dope heads and burners really are.
Oh, ich habe den Follow ja gar nicht mitbekommen. Kam dann Alert? Danke für den Follow.
Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
The spooky kind. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Please? Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
Was wollen die jetzt genau? Naja, ich werde hier vorbeigucken.
All right, man. I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
Only if he promises to look into the spookers in the church.
Officer, I apologise. Noid doesn't always understand the joy of giving for the sake of giving.
Damn it. Take it. Don't you just want to see what's in there?
Ja.
Brilliant! Noid, the key!
All right.
It's as if time is frozen somehow. You think you can sense the key moving in the air. Yeah, this is going to be way cool. Blam! Straight in the eye. Straight in the old eye hole. In the looking ball.
Oh Mann.
A stabbing pain. Tears stream uncontrollably from your right eye.
Man, I'm super sorry. That was totally my bad. I got overexcited. Threw him too hard. I'm sorry.
Ein Augenmord.
I really am sorry, man. Just take this, okay?
Wow, looks like there's quite a lot there.
Hey. Ich nehme das
I
Geld.
hope that settles it. Or wait.
Boah.
The key?
He is shifting in his spot, uncomfortably, still feeling sorry for the mishap.
We were talking about the padlock, I think. Not long. Like a week, maybe? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter.
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives. I don't know. What does anything mean, really?
Oh, yeah.
I knew you'd get it. You're one smart cop.
He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it. Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are.
Glimpses? Who are these people? Secret agents? Stealth operatives?
Well, there's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone, or something, eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it. Like, you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human? As in a ghost? Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling. Like, yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures, and not known for climbing walls.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there,
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he?
You should ask her about it, but be nice.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Well, honestly, I can't.
This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from? Sure. What? Oh yeah, that's a meteor name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
You know, of Meteo, concerning Meteo. Meteo, a country on Muindi, on the Muindi Isla.
One of the poorest of the first world nations today, but once a great ancient civilization. Capital, Tilakos.
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organization. And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the Innocentic system, no? You're totally wrong about that.
The Pericarnassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is hardcore.
Unity.
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse!
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters.
Your posse's like your people, man! Like you got your cup posse, you look out for each other and you party together!
And where is your posse, detective? Nothing comes to you. The world is silent.
Are we?
Yeah! Oh yeah, it can!
It's coming around. You're getting it. That's pretty downbeat. I think I speak for all of us when I say we expected the law to be more open to the idea of love, unity, and the Pericarnassian posse. Yeah, I know you don't. So, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving.
Yes. What? Yeah, good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scattered the place... oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
It does, doesn't it?
Told you we have a smell problem.
Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid?
No.
He sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share. Unlike the girl outside, however, the boy's breathing is regular. Their jaws stay put and their pupils aren't dilated, so they're not under the influence, currently. At least, not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants.
The what now? Oh, the old Ultra.
He's like an actor, looking to the souffleur for his line.
I have a major sinus infection, stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter, can't even breathe. Yes, that's all Nosefed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosefed is the shit.
Ich glaube, das war ja für Gesundheit, oder?
Sure.
Ja.
Here you go, officer. The Noser. Blast away. The engine starting fluid. It's for starting engines.
What's with the goddamn Romangarod earrings? It's cold.
Keep on it, sire.
I guess it does.
You're not completely satisfied yet.
No idea, man.
Did you know ethyl ether is used as a light anesthetic and a solvent and an explosive? And he nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved. A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids? The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Das.
But you still are.
What happened?
Disco ist passiert.
I've been trying to say we need the next step in dance music to happen fast.
Shut it.
What? I have. I've said that.
The young speed freak is silent.
We don't need drugs to be hardcore.
Shut the fuck up, Egg. We know she has a problem, man. We're working on it. She didn't exactly have a smooth adolescence.
Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe.
What exactly is it you know? I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing. I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients. What do you mean, friend? It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music.
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
Likely pseudoephedrine, almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether. No shit. That's... Come on, that's... I meant to say, not true. What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing.
Really? You wanted to just ask me about something else.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again. Then
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revershoal.
Because we are! We totally are!
We just got to turn it into a speed lab first.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up. No, man, they're spooky all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
So, what now? We
Ja,
can
ich will
continue
erstmal
on an
reingucken,
amiable,
was hier
as
genau
always.
Sache ist.